What's up guys, today I want to show you how I usually paint exhausts. This one is a little bit more complicated because it has a protective mesh screen, which means we'll be using some extra techniques as well. Of course this is not the only way how exhausts should be painted, but rather one of many. So let's begin. We're gonna start with the exhaust covered in oxide red surface primer and black paint. This is nothing special. It's just how I primed the entire model, including the exhaust. The red color doesn't really matter, and the black is there just to make sure every nook and corner is at least painted in black, as a sort of fake shadow. I find it best to have some sort of painting handle so you don't have to touch the exhaust while airbrushing. The base coat should be a light reddish gray. I would normally mix that from XF19 Sky Gray and Red, but the only red I have is X7, which is a glossy paint. So instead I'm gonna use this matte oxide red, which I mixed from different Tamiya paints. The paint mixture should be about 9 parts Sky Gray and 1 part red, and thinned down with lacquer thinner into a consistency like this. Something like this. We're gonna paint the entire exhaust because this is gonna be our base coat. Exactly, no rust tones for now. This one has a lot of complex shapes and tight corners, so it's really important to be patient and make sure the paint gets everywhere. Fine mesh will often get clogged up with paint, just like in this case. You can simply reopen the holes with sharp tweezers or some other similar tool and then give it one more pass with the airbrush. Let's now apply the heavy chipping fluid. This thing will allow us to wear down the upcoming layer of paint, so again it's important to cover the entire surface in 1 or 2 nice even coats, but one should work okay. The next layer will be a dark color, and I decided to mix that from 5 parts flat brown and 5 parts dark gray. We can start airbrushing as soon as the heavy chipping fluid is dry to the touch. Note where I'm adding the dark paint, mostly around corners and details. It's important to keep in mind that if you paint a thick layer of paint, it will be hard to wear down. Conversely, thin layers will go down very easily. As soon as we're done airbrushing, we can take some clean tap water and start rubbing the paint down. Water will reactivate the chipping fluid, which will lift the paint, making it possible to remove. You might need to switch between different brushes in order to obtain the best results. Large soft brushes are, for example, best for chipping flat spots with small amount of paint, which goes down very easily. Smaller, stiffer brushes work better in tight places where a thicker layer of paint is present. Here I'm using a cheap stiff brush to remove at least some paint from those places under the protective mesh. The mesh itself isn't my focus here, as I'll paint it later. I'm just trying to create some texture under it. The remaining parts of the exhaust won't be much visible, but I believe it's always good to pay attention to those as well. First, it's a good practice, and if something goes wrong it will be mostly hidden. And second, you never know if that spot you were so certain about being completely obscured on the finished model won't be visible after all. Nothing is more frustrating than some random unpainted spots on a finished model just because you thought nobody will see them. Now we have our basic textures laid down, and if you're asking yourself where are the rust tones, please bear with me. It'll take a while until we're ready to add those. Let's now paint the mesh, starting with Live Color Rust Dark Shadow. This paint comes from their Rust and Dust Diorama series, and if you can, I strongly recommend getting yourself one. I think these are the best rust colored acrylics on the market. Here you can see how regular brush painting combined with dry brushing can be an effective way to paint complex details. Let's now take a lighter rust tone and add some texture. This time I'm applying it with a sponge, because I just need to paint some random uneven spots. These live color paints contain a lot of pigment and they dry to a completely matte finish. That's why it's so easy to create authentic rust effects with these paints. Let's now take a slightly darker rust paint and repeat the process. And one more time with the rust base color. The result is a very nice rusty surface, but of course this just serves as a base for further effects. Now I'm gonna add some remnants of camouflage paint. Tank exhausts were usually painted with the rest of the tank, but the paint started flaking off very fast due to their heat exposure. The only places where it could hold for longer periods of time are nooks and crevices. In this case I'm using Vallejo German Yellow because it's very similar to the tank's base color, and Vallejo paints are one of the best for brush painting. If you're thinking the exhaust is starting to look more and more off, then don't worry. It's perfectly okay, this is standard procedure. This is the paint I used on the tank. It's mixed from Tamiya acrylics, which are not the best when it comes to delicate brush application. But because I have already painted the remnants with Vallejo paint, I can now just add random spots of the Tamiya paint on top of them. This way the camouflage color will be the same as on the tank. I agree this is slightly more complicated than it should be, and I could just add another layer of chipping fluid, spray the Tamiya paint and chip it. But I like the extra precision of brush painting. If you'd like to create this effect with chipping fluid, go ahead, it's definitely easier and will probably create better results. I just wanted to show you this is an alternative, and I also think it's a small hack when you're trying to match the camouflage color. I also use similar approach when I'm painting aluminum chips. I first paint them with very light gray Vallejo paint and then add small spots of Tamiya silver on top. Let's now add the camouflage color on the mesh, which wasn't affected by heat like the muffler, therefore the paint job should be in better condition. I'm again using sponge because it's fast and easy and the results are nice and random. Then I decided to add larger spots of paint on the frame. This step is simple because you just have to connect the sponge applied chips into larger spots. Because of that, I don't need to combine this effect with German yellow paint like on the exhaust body. To make the effect slightly more refined, I used Panzer Ace's Dark Rust to correct some mistakes like the exhaust outlet and the mesh itself. I just outlined the edges of the frame and added tiny chips here and there. One last detail was to paint the bolts with light gray to make them stand out. Now we can start applying the rust tones. These will be made with enamel rust washes from Ammo. I decided to mix them together. 5 parts light rust wash, 2 parts streaking rust, and 1 drop of enamel thinner. And of course 2 pools, one for blending, one for brush cleaning. The consistency should be something along those lines, and I'm gonna use a slightly larger brush for application. This process is very easy and fun because essentially all you're gonna do is just spread the paint all over the exhaust. The enamel rust, when applied over all the gray, dark brown and yellow textures we painted before, will create an authentic corroded surface. This is why I always recommend to not paint exhaust the more usual way, like a rust colored base coat and then some rust pigments on top. I also needed to paint those parts that are hidden under the mesh. Here I decided to just flood the surface with paint and then spread it with enamel thinner. You can always use your airbrush to accelerate the drying process by blowing air on the paint. Just make sure to not disrupt the effect because it's very easy to blow the enamel thinner and paint away if your air pressure is too strong. Now I enhanced the chipping on the mesh frame by adding small amounts of the light rust wash. This was just about adding small amounts of paint on top of the largest chips and then blending the effect. And one last finishing touch, using a stiff brush and a toothpick I speckled some of the dark rust streaks over the entire exhaust to give it more texture. And that's it. Obviously what I've shown you today is just one way to paint an exhaust, and this one is quite unusual because of its shape. There are many different approaches to painting exhaust and it can depend on their shape, age, and also on your personal preferences. I always consider the exhausts to be small models on their own, and because of that I'm thinking if you'd like me to make more exhaust videos in the future, like, for example, painting Tiger exhausts or painting T34 exhausts. I think some people might find them useful and I could make them shorter and also talk less and let the video do most of the work. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like and subscribe if you haven't yet because I have more content like this coming your way. Thank you all for watching, I'll see you mates in the next one, and here are some bloopers. I just wanted to show you this is an alternative. This is an alternative. I just wanted to show you this is an alternative. I just wanted to show you this is an alternative. And this is an alternative. This is an alternative. I just wanted to show you this is an I just wanted to show you this is an alternative. I also use similar exactly. This one has a lot of complex shapes and tight corners, so it's really important and be smaller, stiffer very easily. Smaller, stiffer